everybody, and welcome to the High Performance Garden Show. This is week 8, and we got a lot of cool things to do in the garden today. First off, I want to show you this little guy. This is enemy number 1 for our bok choy and our broccoli. This was sleeping on one of the cabbage leaves this morning. This is the Cabbage Looper, and this little butterfly will lay little clusters of white eggs that will then hatch into little green worms that then will eat our broccoli and our bok choy, putting lots of holes in them. So here on the farm we have noticed these for a couple of weeks, and so we're starting to spray our BT, and we will put the name on the screen because BT is a really long scientific name. Basically it's a bacteria that we put on the plants, and the larvae, the worms from the butterfly, will eat that. They then get a stomach ache, they die, and we get to eat our cabbage and our broccoli. So anyhow, if you guys see these in your garden, it's time for you to get some BT and start spraying that as well. It's totally organic, and we use it once a week is all we need to do. If you're having terrible trouble getting control, then just do it twice a week. If it rains, you got to redo it. Okay, get rid of that guy. Okay, so last week we talked about heavy feeders, light feeders, and givers. And in order to keep this all straight in my mind, I like to make up a schedule for feeding the plants. So if the plants are lacking, I will feed them sooner, but otherwise I pretty much stick to the schedule. So to do this, just go get you a calendar, a regular calendar, and just mark on the calendar the dates that you need to feed the plants. So you got to remember that these plants are growing in a very small space, and we're asking them to outperform any other plants that most people are growing. So just like a super athlete, these plants are going to need more fuel to perform at such a high level. So get your calendar out, mark your heavy feeders every 4 weeks, mark your light feeders every 8 weeks, give them your compost and a good organic all-purpose fertilizer. So today we're going to go through the garden. We're going to keep in mind our 5 environmental factors that affect the plants. And these are light, which we've already pretty much taken care of by picking our location for our garden. Temperature, too hot, too cold. Remember, we got to put our covers on if it's too cold, and we have to put some shade on if it's too hot. Moisture, wet and dry, that's totally under our control. So make sure that you're watering your garden properly. Diseases we'll watch, and we'll watch for pests large and small, and we'll watch for fertility. So as I'm going through my garden, I'm going to be looking at the plants and seeing what's normal, what's not, and just keeping that in mind throughout the whole season. So anyhow, let's go ahead and take a look at the garden. Okay, here we are in the tomato corner of the garden. The tomato plants are looking great. We're still having frosty nights, so I'm still covering them. But we're getting ready to tie them up, so maybe next week they'll be ready. They're getting pretty tall. Spinach is looking good. That's the next thing we're going to do, is go ahead and harvest the spinach. And the spinach will probably be good for another, probably 3 or 4 weeks, and then it's going to go to seed on us. So we're going to get it while we can, give away the extra, or put it up in the freezer. Okay, here we are at the end of our spinach harvest for today. We got, oh gosh, piece of grass. We got about 3/4 of a pound, so that's really good. While I was picking the spinach, I was looking for weeds. I found one. Our mulch has settled in really nicely, and I'm very pleased with that. I'm also looking at the tomatoes. Sometimes you can get aphids, so you want to look on the back sides of these leaves. Everything is looking really clean. Just a super simple garden, isn't it? I just love this because it's just not like any work. It's just like fun. So anyways, I hope you guys got your garden started. If not, get it started because this is a lot of fun. Okay, there's our spinach. Now we're going to come down here to the cabbage section, and oh my gosh, this cabbage is happy. Look at it. These leaves are humongous. We're going to get some beautiful heads of cabbage. We still have our shigaiku is kind of interplanted in here. I'm going to harvest one more crop off of it. So I'm going to come down in here, and I'm just going to cut these plants like this. And we can eat that whole stem. It's very tender and delicious. You can actually just take these like this, long stems, make some garlic butter, And then you could just lay these down in it and basically kind of just roll them and wilt them down in the garlic butter, and that will be divine. So that would be a great dinner. I'm going to go ahead and get some of those out of here. And that'll probably be the end of this crop. I'm not going to pull the plants up yet, just in case we get a few around the edges here that want to continue giving us great dinners. Hope you guys will plant some. I got the seeds from Johnny Selected Seeds. They have a great selection of greens, so good resource. Okay, I'm just going to go down through here and get all these harvested. Okay, here's the shigaiku that I got today. It's actually quite a bit. I'm very pleased. That will make a great meal. So anyhow, guys, get some seed, give it a try. Okay, now our environmental factors, one of them is bugs, and I got my BT. I just mix it up in a little spray bottle, and I've done my shigaiku harvest, and then you just come through here and you just mist that on. You want to do that after you water. And then if there's any of the little green caterpillars, they will bite that and die. It doesn't affect the eggs, it doesn't affect the adults, so we're only going after the caterpillar stage. So that's pretty much all that needs. I did find one weed, so we're up to 2 weeds today. Woo! Okay, moving on down. Okay, down here we have our carrots. They're in the front, and I actually see a few new little carrots coming up, which is great. Carrots are pretty easy to grow once you get them to germinate. I do see one little weed in here. We'll get that out. So carrots are looking good, and these are our cucumbers. The weather's been cool and unsettled, so they haven't grown as fast as they can. When it turns hot, these things are going to be growing about 1 foot a day. They're just, you won't believe from one filming to another what you're going to see. And at that point we'll put the trellis up and we'll start to string the cucumbers up on the trellises. These are the most amazing cucumbers you'll ever eat. So yeah, nothing we need to do here. Just super simple, isn't it? Okay, we're moving on down. Take my baskets. We're going to come down into the zucchini and the spinach. And this spinach is looking amazing. I'm going to go ahead and get some of this spinach. So I want to tell you a little story about my carrots. So we have a CSA, and we've been putting carrots in the CSA all winter because I grow about 1,700 pounds, and then we put them in the root cellar, and then they go to the restaurant, they go to our kitchen, they go to the CSA. And one of my CSA customers had put our carrots in the microwave. Now, don't ask me why. We don't use a microwave on our farm. But anyhow, she said she wanted to soften the carrots, so she had put them in the microwave, and they started shooting sparks. And she thought, oh my gosh, there's a piece of metal in the microwave. And so she stopped the microwave and looked at the carrots, looked for some metal, nothing, put them back in, turned it back on, and they were shooting sparks again. She said there were so many sparks that the paper towel she had in there almost caught on fire. And it's like, whoa, that's crazy. So she jumped up on the internet and looked it up, and what she found out is that vegetables that are dense and highly mineralized, which means they have all the nutrients they need to give you a healthy life, can throw sparks in the microwave from the nutrient density of the vegetables. So it's like, well, here's one more proof that our vegetables are very nutrient dense. So I was sad that she was throwing sparks in the microwave, but I was really happy that my vegetables were capable of that. So anyways, if you're growing these amazing carrots, don't put them in the microwave, just cook them on the stove or something if you don't want to have sparks. So there's the moral of the story. Cook your carrots on the stove. I will put the web address up for the article if you guys are interested in reading it about the highly mineralized vegetables that create sparks. Okay, I've gotten my spinach harvest. Now this is from the tomato group and the zucchini group, but that's, my gosh, we're probably 3.5 pounds of spinach, which is awesome because I want some in the freezer because last winter I didn't get enough spinach, so I'm going to put more in the freezer. One of the things I'm doing when I'm picking the spinach is I'm looking on the back sides of the leaves for little clusters of white eggs. That would be leaf miner. Leaf miner will hatch out and it'll actually mine inside the leaf between the two layers and just eat out the center. It's really kind of cool looking, but we don't want that in our garden. So I'm patrolling, I'm looking. So the observant gardener gets to eat more garden fresh vegetables, and that is true. So there we are, beautiful harvest. And we'll put those down. We're going to take a look at our zucchini plants. And these things are growing quite well. Even for as cool as it's been, I'm very pleased with what they're looking like. So I'm looking on the back sides of the leaves for little golden BBs. Those would be the squash bugs. And I am not seeing anything yet. It's a little early in the season for squash bugs, but you never know. Doesn't hurt to look. I'm also looking down inside to see how mature the plants are, and I'm seeing little immature buds. So yeah, we're still probably 10 days away from having zucchini, but the plants are looking great. Didn't find any weeds in this section. Everything's looking good. Nothing needs fed. So this side of the garden is done, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at the broccoli. Okay, here we are in the other bed. This is our broccoli, and these heads are so close. I don't know if you can see them down in there, but what I'm looking for is the little beads and how tight they are. These are still a little tight. My guess is this is going to be ready in about 3 or 4 days. So if they are, I'll go ahead and harvest those midweek and then show them to you at the end of the week. But getting really close. That's super exciting. I want to harvest some turnips today, and these are all looking pretty good. I think I'm going to leave this batch because we're going to take out the entire batch that's in our lettuce bed because we want the lettuce. So don't need any turnips out of this section and the broccoli. Now back to our BT. You want to just put that on the leaves. I mean, it literally takes seconds if you just have a bottle mixed up. So go get some of this stuff. We'll put the full name on the screen here so that you can get some. Okay, next is our kale. The kale's looking good. We're going to harvest some leaves off of this. I'm also looking for the little butterflies laying their eggs on the kale. So far everything's looking good. And the kale last week was just delicious. So makes a great breakfast. You ought to give it a try. I like to take the kale and saute it in some coconut oil with some sliced apples and some roasted beets, and it is really good. So give it a try. Okay, here's our harvest of kale for the week, and I like the leaves nice and small. You can let them grow big, but this is my preference. That one's a little on the big side, but not bad. But then you can eat the whole stem and everything. So you can grow it big, but smaller is better. So you guys will enjoy it at this size. For the kale, I'm also looking for the little white eggs on the back. I have not seen any. We'll go ahead and do our BT on that after we pick our Joy Choy. So that's our kale for the week, looking great. And this is our Joy Choy. I told you it'd be back. This stuff is amazing. Simply amazing. This is a lot of good food. A lot of good vitamins. B, A, C, and K, back. Those are your main vitamins that you're getting out of greens. So, okay, the bok choy, also we have to watch it for the cabbage looper. It's all in the same family. This family gives us our greens, and it also is our sulfur vegetables. So you definitely want to eat a lot of this stuff. And with the Joy Choy you can, because this stuff just puts out. And it's looking really good. We got our mulch in here. Remember last week we mulched it, and it's kind of settled down in nicely between the plants. So weeding is going to be very few and far between. That's how the mulch cuts down on our water. So the garden just gets easier and easier. All right, here is our bok choy. I mean, there's probably at least 2 pounds here. This is really heavy. Yum. Great breakfasts. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Now, we're going to do our BT. We're going to put it on the bok choy just to protect it, and we're going to put it on the kale. See there? Really easy. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is take a look at our Swiss chard, and it's looking fantastic. And we're just going to come through here, same thing. We're just going to get us a harvest. Now I know there's a lot of greens right now, But other times of the year you don't have a lot of greens, so get it put up in the freezer. Super simple. Just put it in boiling water for like 30 seconds until it wilts down. Take it out, put it in cold water, and then throw it in a freezer bag. So we do have a video on, I think it's on the website. You can go up there and watch me doing spinach. It's also on our YouTube channel, so you can catch it there if you don't know how to blanch and freeze your greens. Okay, this stuff's looking really good. What we're looking for here is leaf miner, maybe a few aphids. That's about all that bothers Swiss chard. So it's pretty easy to grow. And I haven't seen any bugs in it yet, so we're looking pretty good. For leaf miner, you want to look on the back side, and you want to look for little white clusters of eggs. They're kind of oblong in shape, the eggs. But anytime you see batches of eggs, unless they're bright yellow, which is your ladybugs, you can go ahead and mash them. Keep the bright yellow ones though. Okay, here's our Swiss chard harvest for the week. There's at least a pound there. That's really, really good. And this section's done. I found one weed in there, so we're up to what, 3 weeds this week? That's not bad at all. This next section here, this is our beets and our winter squash. I do see a couple of them coming up back here. But in the front here, I noticed that these beet leaves are growing into my squash a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and harvest a few of these leaves. And these can go right into the Swiss chard. They'll taste almost exactly the same. So yeah, you can eat the leaves off your beets too. I don't recommend pulling the leaves right now because we want to grow the bulb down inside there. And I got 2 weeds out of that, so we're up to 5 weeds today. How many gardeners count their number of weeds? Just us, because there's not that many. Okay, there's Swiss chard, that's great. As far as the squash and the beets, there's really nothing we need to do. Beets aren't quite big enough to eat, but we'll start thinning these maybe in another week or so and start eating a few of those. The squash, you know, we replanted the seeds. Some of them are still not up, and that's okay. The soil's been cold, and that's one of the symptoms of cold soil is that the squash won't germinate. We can either put a few more seeds in a few weeks if we don't get anything, or we can go ahead and put those squash seeds in a pot and then transplant the plants into here. But we got plenty of season left, so I'm not worried about it. They'll probably come up when they're ready. So anyways, I'm going to put the Swiss chard down. I'm going to come down here to our turnips. And these things are looking great. Now, I want to plant this in lettuce because our goal is to have a pound or 2 of lettuce every single week of the garden season. And that's only going to happen if we plant in a rotation. If we take all our seeds, plant them in one long row, we're going to have 100 pounds of lettuce for 3 weeks, and then we're going to be done for the season. But with different shade cloths that we can put on here, even through the heat in here, we'll hit 106 in here, quite a few afternoons, we can still grow lettuce. So even if you're in a hot place, give it a try anyways. You can also put a garden bed under a tree, and sometimes that you can grow your lettuce there really well. So okay, all turnips coming out today. So we're just going to grab these things, knock the dirt off. There's going to be plenty to eat today. Ooh, look at that big guy. There you go. It's like a radish apple. They are delicious and nutritious. There you go. Can't go wrong. Sulfur family. So you can count these as greens and or sulfur. Out they come up so easily. Okay, we took a break. I took my coat off. I guess it was scratching on the mic. Sorry about that. But it's actually getting warm in here anyway, so it was time for it to come off. I like to harvest my vegetables either early in the morning or late at night, because then they're not wilty or anything. Sometimes during the heat of the day is not the best time to harvest, so we got up early this morning and came out while it was still cool. Okay, turnips out, and these 2 are actually turnips. And just a few weeds there. Okay. All right, that's done. We're going to plant this in a few minutes. I want to go ahead and get my harvest in, and then I need to go get a little compost and some Happy Frog. What I do is I'll just rejuvenate the soil between crops. and then we'll be ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and start my lettuce harvest. Look at that. Whoa, that's heavy. We'll eat all the greens and we'll eat all the turnips. So that's a bunch of meals right there. So definitely going to have to use a freezer for that one. Okay, lettuce down here. This is looking great. I just want to go around the outside and pick off the leaves that are big enough. And we got section 1 and section 2 is rolling. It's looking good. We're going to plant section 4 today because I eat lettuce every day for lunch and it's such a good treat. Now, one of the things that I did do in the middle of the winter, because I was desperate for greens, is I started sauteing my lettuce. It was actually really good. So if you want something a little different to saute, you can cook your lettuce in some garlic butter or some coconut oil, and it wilts down just like spinach, and it's actually quite tasty. So give it a whirl. Look at the colors in this. Look at that. Brilliance. So red. This is firecracker. I can't get the seed for it anymore, but I'm going to grow some to seed this year so that I have this again. This is minerals. It's different minerals than what you get in your greens or in your bronze. This is our bronze. Whoops. And so each plant has its own flavor and its own unique minerals. So you want to be eating a lot of varieties. So when you grow your lettuce, grow more than just green. Pick up all these extra minerals that your body can use. It's just so simple and so tasty. Okay, here's our lettuce for the week. There's about a pound here. That will be delicious. And now we're going to plant. So I have this section that I took the turnips out of, and I have some compost, and I just want to revitalize this area. Okay. Yeah, throw it all on. You don't really have to measure. Just compost. Okay, and then this is our Happy Frog fruit and flower fertilizer is my favorite blend. It comes with the mycorrhizae fungi and all of the microbes that we like to grow in our garden. So a couple tablespoons of that. I'm going to be the rototiller. You could even make the sounds brrr if you miss that. Brrr, okay. Fill that in. All right, smooth it out. Guess what? We're ready to plant. It's that quick. The only tools I needed were these two. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put our little holes in. That's where I'm going to drop the seed. Okay, what do we have? This is our firecracker. Remember, not the whole package. There's a couple seeds in each hole. Oops, spilled them. They're going to be everywhere now. Okay, that's okay. We can eat red lettuce even if it comes up in the green section. And my bronze arrowhead from Seed Savers Exchange. They're a great place to get lettuce seed. They have so many kinds. They're all heirloom, open pollinated. You can save the seed from any of them. Which lettuce is a great one to save seed from. So maybe we'll start a pot of our firecracker and we'll grow it on. You guys can see how we save seed from that. That's a project we could do here in this garden. I'm not going to grow it actually in the garden because this is my production area. But we can get a pot and put it off to the side. So when these come up, we can transplant some and get some going. Okay, this is my green. This is Tropicana. And let's see here. Now it's getting a little closer to summer, and we're going to want to mulch this to keep it moist enough, and I will check it for water twice a day. I think that already has seed in it. Okay, just knock the soil back over the seed, and then go grab a little bit of mulch. Okay, here's my mulch. It's just some grass clippings. This is actually left from last week. It's plenty dry. So you can put it on really thin. Okay, that's replanted, ready to go. Now in 3 weeks we'll take out the first section and round we'll go. Okay, I think we are done with the garden. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the harvest. Okay, we went and weighed the harvest and we broke $100 this week in savings. That's super exciting. So spinach, we had 2.65 pounds. The shikaiku, we had 0.55 pounds. Kale, we had 0.65 pounds. The choy choy, we had 2.75 pounds. The chard, we had 1.36 pounds. The lettuce, we had 1.14 pounds. The turnips, we had 3.33 pounds. The turnip greens. And the actual turnips, we had 2.25 pounds. And that adds up to $101.82. So that is really exciting to break the $100 savings mark on our garden this year. Or not this year, this week, week 8. Cool. So the garden gives more than just life-giving sustenance. The 7th gift my garden gives me is pride. Even after 30 years, I'm still in awe of what the garden and I can co-create. I get to be a part of the miracle of creation every day. I carefully harvest the most amazing vegetables and then bring them home to my beloved family. And I say to them, "Look what I grew," with a smile as big as my vegetable, my chest exploding with pride. This is one of the best feelings in the world, and I co-create this with my garden. So it's time to start your garden, and the best way to get started is to find your zone, then go to the What Can We Plant Today page that's on the website where you're actually viewing these videos. If you're not sure where to start, then jump into a course. From there you will have all the instructions you need and will have access to me, your gardening coach. So I can help you if you get lost along your way, and I'll get you back on track. If you're enjoying this garden show, do us a favor and send a link to a few friends that you think would like to watch, learn, and grow some amazing food too. The beauty of this garden system is you don't need to be rich or have a lot of time. You just need an education and be willing to give it a try. So who do you know who would love to garden this way? Give the gift of gardening today to your garden friends and share this link to the show. Okay, gotta go get my goat. Okay, everybody, I brought Millie. This is our newest member of our family. She is a dwarf Nigerian goat, and we adopted her last week from another farm. She's 8 weeks old already, tiny little thing. So the reason I brought her in here is Millie and I would like to invite you to come to the farm for a tour, and you can tour the plants, you can tour the animals, and we're going to have an interactive petting area so that you can bring your kids, and if none of them have ever touched a goat or a sheep, we have a baby calf now. His name is Leroy, and we'll have baby ducks and baby chickens and baby turkeys. So you guys can come and bring the kids, pet the animals. You can come and see this garden, you know, for your own very own eyes, touch it. So yeah, we invite you to come down. It's not very far. If you're traveling I-70, just jump down and come and see us. We will be open from Thursdays through Sundays from 1 to 6. So in the afternoons all summer long. So if you need some details, just go to our website. You can get all the details. If you got questions, pop us an email. So until next week, may your garden be easy, fun, productive, and always organic. Say bye-bye.